Good morning, folks. I'm Lee, the Pit Village Trader, and today I want to show you a potential stock that I have opened a position in, and I wanted to raise the awareness of this stock. I'm not advocating that this stock is going to do this or going to do that. I'm just saying that this is a position that I've just opened in my account, and if you want to follow that journey and see how that trade turns out, it might be worth having a little look. Now, the stock that I'm talking about is a stock called Rotork PLC. It's a UK stock on the FTSE 250 list. Now, I originally opened the position here, which was back on the 9th of July, which was a few days ago. I got into this position using my usual rule of if a stock is showing evidence of strength by the way the price action is moving, then I am interested in that stock. In this case, if it's shown the price going up, then to me there is sentiment. There is evidence of positive sentiment within the stock, and that's why I originally decided to get into this position. The other reason as well, because of the actual share price sitting at around about 300. That's a nice amount for me because a 5% move in a day can equal a reasonable return in a short time. So why am I talking about this stock today? One, it's been a couple of days since I actually a couple of weeks, since I actually mentioned anything with regards to the account. But two, there's an interesting sort of bit of humor here in this stock, Rotork. Okay, it looks to be having what appears to be in the technical analysis world a double top, right? I'm not putting down technical analysis, right? I'm not doing that. But if you've watched any of my videos for any length of time, or if you've consumed any of my content for any length of time, you will know that the things I talk about are born out from experience over 8 years or so. And way back in 2011 when I started, I was into all of this stuff. I was into all of the technical analysis, Gann charts, Fibonacci. I was into a lot of it, and I viewed that as some kind of secret code for success. And what transpired over the following years, the following 2 years anyway, was that I kind of quickly learned that you can overconsume all of this stuff. And this to me is a great example to highlight that. Again, I'm not predicting anything, but let's just take a look at this. So if a double top in technical analysis term is when a share price reaches a high, it then retreats and then reaches the same high again and then retreats again. It is, according to Investopedia, an extremely bearish signal. Okay? So, Investopedia, sorry, this one, not Investopedia, two very similar sites. So, according to Investopedia, the double top definition, which is what we've just been looking at, a double top is an extremely bearish technical reversal pattern that forms after an asset reaches a high price 2 consecutive times with a moderate decline between the two highs. All right, high point, moderate decline, high point. Is it an extremely bearish signal? I'm long in this position, so I could be totally out of place. I could be on the absolute wrong side of the fence with this one. But if I go on to show you something else, so the first is an extremely bearish technical reversal pattern. Now, I've told you before that I don't trade reversals. I don't try to trade reversals because trying to trade a reversal, that is trying to predict when a share price is going to change direction, to me is like trying to predict the future. And unless you have some inside knowledge, I don't know how that's possible. It is pure luck and gambling, and then that's a whole other topic in itself. I actually just posted an article about that on my blog. Is spread betting gambling? I'll give you the spoiler. I do think it is gambling, but I think there are things you can do to give you the house odds. But back to this point, so a double top is an extremely bearish signal, bearish reversal signal. So I don't trade reversals, so that's why I wouldn't really pay any attention to this particular signal. Secondly, the example that is used in this here is double top definition. What is a double top? A double top is this. Okay, so this is the example that Investopedia are giving. This is Amazon.com from between September and November 2018. Amazon experienced a double top. So it was an extremely bearish signal. And I suppose, yes, if you got into that trade here and then rode that trade down to the very low point of here, then you would have been sitting on a reasonable profit, especially in a stock like Amazon with such huge movements. However, because I trade long term, right? I've said this many times. I am more of a long term trader. I try and adopt the long term view on the market. Now, this is Amazon today, and this here is the double top that was mentioned in the Investopedia article, September 2018. Double top, extremely bearish signal. Go short here. Yeah, you might have ridden that out and you might have got good profits. But now, September, 6 months later, we're at the same price. So was it truly a bearish signal? It was a very short-term, potentially a very short-term bearish signal. But 6 months later, Amazon stock is approaching that same point again. And now, I don't trade Amazon. I don't trade outside the UK, to be honest, because it's just, I like to know my market. I just like to stay within what I believe I am most profitable in, and that's good advice. So heed that advice if you can. But yeah, so 6 months later, we're back to the same price. And would you now look at Amazon and say that it was a bearish position? I don't think so. I think you would be long in this. And I just wanted to kind of highlight this because this is the trap that you can fall into with things like technical analysis. Everything always looks good in hindsight when you see it on these charts, and you can see a double top, and you see yeah, it's kind of like a double tap, getting you down on the floor and double tapping out. You've had enough. But when it is a double top, looking back in hindsight, you can easily identify these things and think, right, why didn't I do that? But when you're in it, when you're in the moment, and you're in it right now, so this potentially could be a double top. Bump. Could it be a short-term bearish signal over in place of or prior to a long-term positive signal? It could be, but I'm starting to think and I'm starting to confuse my own self. So where I'm sitting at is since the beginning of this year, this stock has experienced a 24.4% increase in price. That is evidence that has actually happened. That tells me one thing. People much cleverer than I am think that this stock is something they should have been and should be invested in. So I am now following all of those really smart people and saying that I am going to be in this position as well, which is why I opened the position here. And then I've always advocated as well, when a position turns in your favor, double down, add to your position, open more. Don't be afraid to add to those winning positions in much the same way as when a position turns against you. If you're just not feeling it, or it's getting anywhere close to your stop or whatever, just get out. Just get out. But when a position starts to turn your way, it's always worth thinking about adding to that position. Now, it hasn't yet quite turned in my favor. I got in here. I've now added today here, and the price could now go through that double top thing and go through an extreme bearish position. My stop, this is important. The stop loss that I've got in place on the second position, the one that I opened today, is very tight. It's here. It's only 15 points away, which is well within the potential volatility of a single day. But then if I do get down to this point, then we are reaching these technical analysis zones that might indicate a short-term bearish move. Again, I'm not getting too hung up on all of that stuff. It's a 25% increase in share price this year. That is evidence to me that the sentiment behind this stock is strong, so I am in this position. That is why I got in here, and it is why I've doubled down today. And we will see how it goes. You know, the famous rhyme, no one knows where the market goes. That's my rhyme that I kind of tend to live by, and it's also something you should try and do when you have a winning position. Don't be tempted to take that position out or close that position down too early, because things generally tend to go longer than you think they will. So yeah. So I just wanted to highlight that it's been a little while since my last video. So if you're in the market, if you're looking at things, if you're playing your demo accounts or your trading accounts, maybe just have a little look at this one and see what you think. I'd love to know what you think, actually. Drop a comment below, you know, make a post, get in touch. I'd love to know what you think about this assessment, and give me your take on whether you really think this is a double top and we're just about to enter a bearish period. For my intents and purposes, right, do you know what I think this looks like? I think this looks like a bat signal. If I just go here, right, and I turn on me high-low data, and I just like block out all of this nonsense behind. Now, to me, that looks like a bat. It looks like Batman. Batman's always a good thing. So just buy the share, buy the stock, get involved, get long, be Batman. All right, guys, that's all for now.